Hello on TikTok and YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook. I'm Brian Manning and I'm an asylum lawyer. I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now as an asylum lawyer, well, my law firm helps immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. That's how we do it. We help people win asylum. We help people secure their future, get confidence, certainty, peace of mind about their future in America. And we do it through asylum. I want to answer your questions about asylum. You're watching the Asylum Answer Show where I answer your questions about asylum. So let me know in the comments what questions you do have about asylum. But first, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what's going on. Say hi. Say where you're joining us from. I'd love to see where you guys are at. We already got on YouTube. Nathan Lean says hi. We got Mike Johnson says good afternoon. We got Muhammad says hi, good morning, happy Monday from San Francisco. I love San Francisco. Great city. Over on TikTok, we got Pancho Villa. We got hello from Kenya. Wow, nice. Says Ruth Travel One. We got Hanadi R442. Nice. We got Franklin. Thank you, Franklin. Appreciate that. Very nice. Proud of mom. That's a nice tagline or handle. Nice. If you have a pending asylum, can you file for TPS? We'll get back to that question. Thanks for asking it. Good morning, and good afternoon, depending on where you're at. My friends in California, you guys are morning. My colleagues, my friends, my community on the East Coast, you guys in like New York and Florida, you guys are already in your afternoon. And here where I am in Texas, it's afternoon. We're located in Texas, but we help people all over the country. We're able to help clients anywhere in the United States, and we have clients all over the country. Habib says hi from Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. Are you impressed that I knew that without Googling it immediately? Interesting, Habib. So yeah, I learned about a lot of capitals when not just from traveling, but I used to be a diplomat. Before I was an asylum officer with the government, I was a diplomat. And so I actually did the visa work as well, the visa interviews that so many of you have been through, to get to the United States. So I'm familiar with that aspect of your immigration journey in addition to asylum. We got Rachel says Worcester, Massachusetts, or is that Yeah. We got Sanket Kumar from Virginia. Juan Diego is watching from Tampa. Nice. We got Rachel in Massachusetts. Nice. Thank you for joining us on the Asylum Answer Show. I'm Brian Manning. I'm an ex-asylum officer with the government, but now I'm an asylum lawyer. And as an asylum lawyer, my law firm helps immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. We got Ali Reza Garib says, hi, your client from Oregon. Nice. Thanks for joining us, guys. So look, go ahead, start leaving your questions. Let me know in the comments what questions you have about winning asylum in the United States, and I'm going to start getting to them in 1 second. But look, there is a whole lot going on in the way of news that I want to share with you. A few things to give you a taste of what's happening out there, because there's a lot going on with the new Trump administration and actions and announcements that are going to affect lots of asylum seekers, lots of immigrants, all right, in the United States. So, look, all right, we've got important immigration news to cover. I'm Brian Manning, an asylum lawyer and ex-government asylum officer, and I'm here to keep you informed of developments of interest to the immigrant community. And I want to start with this news item right here about Donald Trump. The title from CNN is After Forcing Colombia to Back Down, White House Claims America is Respected Again. So Trump claimed a diplomatic victory when Colombia reversed its decision to block U.S. military flights carrying deported migrants following threats of severe economic penalties. Colombia agreed to unrestricted deportation flights after Trump threatened 25% tariffs on Colombian goods and visa restrictions. Meanwhile, ICE reported nearly 1,000 arrests in a single day in Chicago. Governor Pritzker of Illinois expressed concern that the operations might target law-abiding immigrants rather than focusing solely on those with criminal records. All right. Trump is bragging about this diplomatic victory. Colombia appears to have completely just bluffed and backed down after Trump got tough with them. So what else do you need to know about? Let me tell you about this. From the Washington Post, headline is Trump officials issue quotas to ICE officers to ramp up arrests. ICE officials have received orders to dramatically increase daily arrests to between 1,200 and 1,500, with field offices required to make 75 arrests per day. The new quotas have raised concerns that officers may resort to indiscriminate tactics to meet the quotas. The administration has mobilized additional agencies and revoked restrictions that prevented arrests near sensitive locations like schools and hospitals and churches. By the way, if you've been waiting for years for an asylum interview with USCIS, please let me know about it in the comments. Okay, let me know how long you've been waiting. We might have a way to get your stalled asylum case unstuck. Okay, back to our news. This third story comes from the New York Times, and the title says, as immigration crackdown looms, restaurants are racked with fear. So restaurants are preparing for heightened immigration enforcement as Trump launches his deportation campaign. Immigrants comprise some 21% of documented restaurant workers, with an estimated additional 1 million unauthorized workers. Now, following arrests in Newark, New Jersey, many establishments are developing emergency response plans and distributing know your rights information. In Chicago, owners report decreased business in immigrant neighborhoods as residents limit their movements after raids have started in earnest in Chicago this week. All right. Let's move to Florida. Coming to us from NPR, we've got this title, DeSantis, that's Governor Ron DeSantis, faces pushback by fellow Republicans on his call for an immigration session. So DeSantis' call for a special legislative session on strict immigration measures has met unexpected resistance from Republican leaders. The proposed legislation would require local authorities to participate in federal deportation efforts and criminalize unauthorized entry at the state level. Critics say the measures could damage relationships between law enforcement and communities. All right, now I saved the scariest, the most pressing for last. We've got this article from USA Today. It says Trump revises push to denaturalize U.S. citizens. All right. So Trump has revived his campaign to denaturalize U.S. citizens, while denaturalization, which means like taking someone's citizenship away from them, stripping them of their citizenship. While this is historically targeted only those who concealed Nazi pasts or maybe like terrorist ties, this new directive calls for broader enforcement against citizenship that was, quote, unlawfully procured. Now, legal experts express concern that this directive could target just minor application discrepancies. And I do think that is a big problem. And I do think that is definitely going to happen. Look, these developments underscore the urgent need to protect your legal status in the United States. With the Trump administration ramping up deportations and expanding its targets to include even naturalized citizens, look, it's more important than ever to have strong legal representation. If you want to talk about your case, if you think that you might want help securing your future in America through asylum, then please go right now, like right this second, to winasylum.com. Again, that webpage is winasylum.com to schedule a consultation with us. Do that right now. Again, it's winasylum.com. Again, I'm Brian Manning. Thank you, and we look forward to supporting you in your asylum journey. All right, now with that news, which is pretty scary stuff, let's get to the questions. Let me know in the chat what questions you have about asylum in the United States. First of all, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And then let me know what questions you have about asylum in the United States. All right. We've got Muhammad says, is it safe to travel on RTD and pending on I-45 best and grant asylum? Not sure I understand the full question. Beast and grant asylum. Now, Muhammad Nur Ahmed, you want to maybe try restating that? I didn't quite understand what you're trying to ask. Something about traveling, which is tricky right now, right, under Trump. But I want to be sure I understand the question before I try to answer. Okay? Nathan Lean says, just wanted to know about a person who came on a B1, B2 visa and is overstaying here for like 3 months. Can they apply for asylum? The question, good question. Thanks for asking it. The question is this. Can someone who came here on a tourist visa and then overstayed, meaning they stayed longer than they were supposed to stay, can they apply for asylum, or is that not even possible? Look, the good news is that, you can apply for asylum. If you came here on a tourist visa, a B1, B2 visa, it doesn't matter whether you still have that status or whether you've overstayed, meaning you've stayed longer than you were supposed to. It doesn't matter. In either of those scenarios, yes, you can still apply for asylum, and you're going to be applying for asylum with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS. I recommend that you do that online. Remember, you need to do this during your first year in the United States because of the so-called 1-year filing deadline, which says you basically almost certainly will be denied if you don't file during your first year. So keep that in mind. Things are going fast right now for most asylum seekers. A lot of people with USCIS are getting their interview right away. So you've got to be ready to put together a strong case as quickly as possible. Go to winasylum.com if you want to learn more. Okay. Thanks for asking the question. All right. Ozzy Oz says hi from Chicago, Chi-Town. Good city. I like Chicago. Habib says, what's your opinion about refugee suspensions of Afghan P1, P2 for 90 days? I don't have an opinion on it. Because what I can tell you right now, Habib, is that if you haven't applied for asylum yet and you fear being harmed in your country, which if you're an Afghan, I assume that you do, you should apply for asylum, okay? Right away. Or let me rephrase that. You should talk to an asylum lawyer about applying for asylum right away, all right? Because here's the thing. Look, let me tell you, this raises an important question, and the question is this. What is this express deportation, expedited removal that Trump's team has been talking about? Look, there's this mechanism that allows the government to deport someone really quickly, sometimes within even days of like arresting them, if certain conditions are met. And Trump has said that they're going to expand those conditions to include even more people as eligible to be deported through this mechanism where unless you affirmatively reach out and say, I fear being harmed in my country, unless you do that, you could be deported in days without ever even seeing an immigration judge or having any kind of process to defend yourself or be able to try to stay here. So it's really dangerous. But they've indicated they're not going to do this. They're not going to try to deport people through expedited removal if, this is key, if you have an asylum application pending. So this is super important. If you fear being harmed in your country and you haven't yet applied for asylum, you should talk to an asylum lawyer right away about possibly applying. Okay. Expedited removal, it's sort of unclear who they're going to try to subject to it, like who they're going to put into it. It's supposed to be for people that came to like the southern border without a visa. But even people that came on through the CBP-1 application or through humanitarian parole programs, including like the CHNV program, as well as Operation Allies Welcome for Afghans, Habib, as well as the Unite for Ukraine program. All those people, there's serious concern that all those people could have their parole status stripped from them and then be placed in deportation proceedings, possibly even these expedited deportation proceedings, expedited removal proceedings that I was just describing. That's why it is incredibly important that if you haven't applied for asylum yet and you fear being harmed in your country, you should think about doing that right away, okay? Rachel Kabaya says, does it mean you don't do other immigration work, just asylum? My first time to hear that. The question is this. Does my law firm handle non-asylum cases? No. We do asylum. We do asylum all day, every day. All right? That's what we do. That's what we focus on. We love helping people secure their future in the United States through asylum, and that's what we've decided to focus on. Okay, look, there's one exception. We help you apply for a green card and do your permanent residency if you're doing that based on asylum. We don't do green cards based on marriage. We don't do green cards based on employment or investment, any of that stuff. All right. We do asylum. All right. Look, I think that you should go to the lawyer or the professional who focuses all day, who is laser focused on solving the exact problem that you need solved. It's like in the medical profession, right? You want to go, if you have a serious problem, you go to the specialist who does that thing. The specialist doesn't do 20 different areas of specialty. They do one, all right? That's how we are. That's how I think of us with Asylum. That's what we do. Okay? So this Sankit Kumar, that leads into your question of, can my cousin apply for employment-based green card with pending asylum? The answer is, I don't know. What I can tell you, it's tricky. It's a complicated thing to analyze and assess, and we don't do that. We don't analyze and assess it or advise on it because it's not our area of focus. It's not our area of what I would consider to be our area of expertise. We think that we're really good at asylum, and we work on it every day. We stay up to date on all the changes, all the news in asylum, and I think that we're really good at it. But if we start putting our attention everywhere else, let us try to get really good at employment-based green cards. Let us try to get really good at marriage-based green cards. That stuff, when you spread your attention too wide, it becomes thin. I just decided, as the owner of the law firm, I decided that's not who we're going to be. We're going to go an inch wide and a mile deep, which means to say we go really deep on one thing, and that thing is asylum. All right. Uh-oh. Mercy, favor, kindness says the website doesn't work. Uh-oh. Let me check on that. winasylum.com. It didn't work for you? It's working for me. Let me show you. Winasylum. Uh-oh. Why is it not working for... Yeah. Refresh. Clear cookies, maybe? I don't know why it's not working for you. I just tried it. It's working for me. Let me show you. Yeah, so winasylum.com should take you. If it's working, I'm sorry it didn't work for you. Try it again. Try maybe refreshing or trying to clear out your cache or your cookies. It should look like this, where it takes you to this page where you can click on this. You can watch this video if you want, where I explain a little bit more about what happens in an asylum strategy session, and you can schedule it by clicking on this button, which takes you to here, and you can click this button book to schedule your asylum strategy session with one of our asylum professionals. Look, if it doesn't work oh wait, I didn't show you the next page. If it doesn't work for you, I guess I need you to call. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm going to put the number on the screen now that you can call to schedule your asylum strategy session with one of our asylum professionals. That number is 713-909-0401. Again, it's 713-909-0401. That's the number you can call to schedule an asylum strategy session. We want to talk. We want to see what's going on. We're going to ask a lot of questions. Our consultations aren't these little 10, 15, 20-minute consultations that you get with most lawyers. Ours last 50 minutes, up to 50, almost an hour, because we need to go deep. We need to get to know you. We want to know about you and your life and your goals, your aspirations for the life you're trying to build in America. And we're going to go deep about your case too. We're going to get to know your situation. And then look, if we think that we're in a position to help you, we're going to tell you how, and we're going to explain in detail. We're going to go pretty deep and tell you a lot of detail, what the concrete steps are that we're going to take to give you what we think will be the best possible chance to win your case, so you can finally get confidence about your future in America. You can get peace of mind about your safety and the life that you're trying to build here in America. Okay. All right. Ozzy says, I got arrested for a first-degree felony, but released from custody without charge. Is that going to affect my status? First-degree felony, but released from custody without charge. Is it going to affect my status? Look, if the charges were dismissed, you'll probably be okay. It can affect your case negatively, but in terms of like being an actual like hard statutory bar to you getting asylum, no, it should not be. But you're going to get a lot of questions about it. The officer is going to ask you to submit certified copies from the police department about any investigations or reports, and from the court showing that the charges were dismissed. Okay, so you're gonna need those things for sure, and you're gonna get a lot of questions about it. Okay. Buddy Man says, "What's the percentage rate?" But by the way, so our friend Mercy, Favor, Kindness 25, great name by the way. that's uplifting. It makes me happy just saying that. Thank you for having a great YouTube handle. By the way, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, go to YouTube, okay? I got all my best stuff on YouTube. I've got really detailed long tutorials on YouTube about all kinds of things that you need to know to put yourself in the best possible position to win your asylum case. Go to YouTube and search, once you're there, search for Political Asylum Lawyers. That's the name of my law firm, Political Asylum Lawyers, okay? And you'll find that's what our YouTube channel is called as well. So you'll find it there under, Political Asylum Lawyers on YouTube. Go to the playlist, check out our tutorials and trainings, okay? All right. I was about to say that, who was it? Mercy, Favor, Kindness said the website doesn't work. Could you guys go check for me? I just checked and it worked for me. Could you guys go to open up a browser screen and type WINASYLUM.com. I just tried it on Chrome and on another browser, Brave, and it worked for me on both of them. I'm curious to hear from you guys if the website WINASYLUM works for you guys. WINASYLUM.com works for you guys. Don't type WW before it. Don't type anything before it. Just type WINASYLUM.com, enter, and let me know if it works for you guys, because it's working for me. But if it's not working for you, that's what matters. So I'm going to have to look into it right away with our tech people. Let me know in the comments, please. Is it working for you? Yes or no? Or you can say it's working or it's not working in the comments. All right. Let me know in the comments, please. Help me out with this. All right. We got Buddy Man says, what's the percentage rate of winning an asylum if you have a persecution from traditional family issues? You want to tell us more? Buddy Man, are you comfortable telling us more? Because I can't really, when you say traditional family issues, that could be a lot of different things. But what I can tell you, Buddy Man, is that, there's a chance to win based on traditional family issues in general. What's the approval rate? Well, first of all, I don't know. They don't make that. They don't keep that statistic. And if they did, they wouldn't make it public. But they don't even keep that kind of statistic. So I don't know, but I can tell you there's a chance. We've helped a lot of people win asylum based on, persecution and problems they're facing that are sort of like traditional, either tribal or familial, motivated harm. Okay. So we should talk, Buddy Man. If you haven't, done a consultation with us yet with one of my asylum professional colleagues, I want you to go to WINASYLUM.com. By the way, tell me guys, okay, I've got 3 or 4 people say it is working. Besad, Ramanjit, Nora, Habib, all say it is working. So thank you. Thank you guys for checking. I appreciate it. I was freaking out there. Thinking like, oh my gosh, did we break the website? Thank you for checking, guys. Ancient Theology says, I live in Texas. Okay, I'm gonna address your question. That's really important. I'm going to get there, Ancient Theology, okay? Anyway, Buddy Man, let's talk. If you haven't done a consultation with us yet, please schedule that now. I checked a second ago, and I think we had 1 or 2, maybe 3 spots available this week on Thursday or Friday still. But listen, those things get filled up fast. As you can imagine, there's a lot of people stressed out right now for, with good reason. It looks like this when you're on mobile and you go to book. It's like super quick and easy. Do it real quick, okay? People are stressed out because of what's going on. There are raids going on. Trump is trying to deport everyone he can. So it's tough. So people need help and they're calling us and they're booking these consultations. So these spots are filling up quickly. So if you want to talk with us, go get on our schedule now. Go to winasylum.com. It's WINASYLUM.com. If you prefer calling, you can do that. Go to call 713-909-0401. But it's easier just to go to winasylum.com. All right. We've got Mercy, Favor, Kindness says, my case has been pending after interview now for 5 years. Wow. Mercy, Favor, Kindness. How long did you wait before the interview? So I guess the question is this. My question for you is this. How long have you been waiting total since you applied for asylum? But look, the question is this. What can you do if you've been waiting for a really long time to get a decision after your asylum interview with USCIS? Look, you can use a mandamus lawsuit. We call this an asylum delay lawsuit, right? To force the government to take action on your asylum case. If it's taking too long, if it's an unreasonable delay, you can sue them to push your case forward. Okay. I talk about this every day, this asylum delay lawsuit, because it's beautiful, because it works. Our clients love it because it works. I talk about this all the time. Usually though, in the context of using it to get your interview scheduled, but it's also used to get your decision after your interview. You said you've been waiting 5 years after the interview for the decision. You're in a great position to have success with this. Okay. Even if you are waiting a couple months after the decision, if you applied for asylum several years ago, you'd probably be in a good position to have success with forcing the decision by way of a mandamus lawsuit. We should talk. I want to talk. Go to winasylum.com. Okay. I think we're in a good position, mercy, favor, kindness, to force your asylum decision in your case. All right. What's your opinion about final court hearing? My friend is waiting for 6 months, still not scheduled, says Habib. I think they should try to get it as soon as possible. The question is this: what should you do if you're waiting to present your asylum case, but they haven't scheduled your final hearing in immigration court? It's just not scheduled. There's just nothing going on. It says nothing scheduled. Or maybe you're waiting for your asylum interview with USCIS for multiple years. Well, listen, in the context of the court case, you can't bring a lawsuit. It won't help you in immigration court to force your hearing, but you can ask the judge. You can make a motion to schedule or calendar the final hearing. They call it individual hearing. You can ask the judge to put it on the calendar, and usually they do. So yeah, I do recommend it. I think in general, the sooner that you get to present your case, the better your chances for success. Okay. Now, in the context of USCIS, if you've been waiting for multiple years, you should consider suing through a mandamus lawsuit, an asylum delay lawsuit. It's an extremely powerful tool that we've been using a lot lately to great effect with great success to move our clients' cases forward. They love it because it works. Okay. All right. Ancient Theology says, Brian, my lawyer recommends that I don't do mandamus since I'm waiting for 7 years. She says chances for asylum denials are very high right now. Who's your lawyer? No, actually, don't tell me. I don't want to embarrass anyone. Don't type in the chat who your lawyer is, but I do want to know if we talk to you who it is. Listen, good, interesting perspective. Good point, or good question at least. The question is this: is it true that you should just sit back and keep waiting for your asylum interview, not push it forward with an asylum delay lawsuit? If you've been waiting for a long time, many years, is it true that you should just hold back, not push it forward? Because, look, approvals are hard to get these days. No, I don't think so. Look, I think the opposite. I think the sooner that you can get your interview, the better. You're going to face your asylum interview someday, one day, sooner or later, whether it's now through an asylum delay lawsuit, a mandamus lawsuit, or whether it's in 3 years when you get called for it just organically. You're going to present your case. With every month and year that passes, I think it becomes harder to win. Okay. So in 3 years from now, it's going to be probably almost certainly going to be a lot harder to win your case. You're going to face it someday. Why wait with every passing month to have your chances, in my opinion, go down? I think you should sue, push your case forward, and present your case and win your case now. All right. Look, in addition, there's multiple reasons for why I think it's a good idea to push your case forward. Why your chances for success are better the sooner that you do it. Look, and the question is this: so why is it that I think that the sooner you get your asylum interview, the better? And if that means you need to sue to get it, that you should do that because you've been waiting for multiple years. So why is it better to have it sooner rather than later? With every passing year, with every passing month, honestly, the asylum officer is just more likely to say, I get it, some bad stuff happened, but look, that was a long time ago. Why do you think you're still at risk now after all this time? Why would they still want to hurt you now? This kind of thinking is very common at the asylum office, and it impacts cases negatively. Also, look, right now, we've got the Trump effect, okay? I believe that with every passing month that Trump is in power, your chances for success go down, both because of possibly because of concrete politics that he's implementing, or policies that he's implementing that make it harder, but also the general anti-immigrant sentiment that is going to take root and only going to get stronger and stronger while he is in office. I think you should sue now, get your interview, and win your case now. Okay? And I feel, if you can't tell ancient theology, I feel strongly about this. Yes, including in Texas where approval rates are low. It's still, I think your chances are better now than they're going to be in 2 years, 4 years, 6 years when you finally get your interview. I think your chances are much better now. Okay? Almost certainly. So, yeah, I would, ancient theology, look, we should talk. You can hire us if you want to take over your case completely, or look, if you're completely comfortable with your current lawyer in terms of what they're doing for you to improve your case and to give you the best possible chance of winning, that's fine. You can stick with them, but hire us just to sue, just to do the lawsuit and not help you with the rest of the case. Or if you want us to help you because you think that we're best positioned to give you the best possible chance of winning your case, then we can talk about that as well. We've got a question. Are pending asylum decisions safe from deportation? The question is this. Will having a pending asylum application keep you safe from Donald Trump's deportation machine? Look, probably. They're going after a lot of people. But Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, has indicated that they're going to respect the asylum process. This means if you have an asylum application pending, it's unlikely they're going to come for you. It's unlikely they're going to put you in removal proceedings, or if you're already in removal proceedings, it's unlikely they're going to come and arrest you and try to deport you quickly. As long as you have an asylum application pending. This is important for everyone, but I especially want to flag that it's important for people that think that they're okay and they don't need to apply for asylum, like people with parole that came through CBP-1 and got parole, people who came on the CHNV program and got parole, or people that have TPS, because there's risk that all those things could be stripped from you and you could be left with nothing and be deported unless you have an asylum application pending, which should protect you. So if you fear being harmed in your country, you haven't yet applied for asylum, talk to an asylum lawyer immediately. Okay? We're having these conversations every day. We can have it with you and talk with you in a lot more detail about your situation, tell you what we think, tell you whether we think we're in a position to help you. Just go to winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com. That's where you can schedule the consultation. All right. By the way, Mercy, Favor, Kindness, are you getting it to work now, the website? Because it looks like I asked and a bunch of people commented and said it was working. So let me know if it's not working. If it's not working for you, please give us a call right now. You can call 713-909-0401. Again, the number is 713-909-0401. Okay. I just saw the comment. I didn't see who it was on TikTok that said, I've been here 180 days and I still don't have my work permit yet. Like, what's up, or something like that. All right. So the question is this: when are you going to get your work permit when you apply for the first time based on your pending asylum application? The good news is that this is fast. It has been fast for a while. I expect it to continue to be fast under Trump, hopefully at least for a while. Look, there is a chance that Trump will slow this down by diverting resources away or not staffing up to meet the demand. And so the processing of these could slow down under Trump. Yes, it's true. But as of right now, it's quick. As of right now, you're eligible to apply for a work permit based on your pending asylum case 150 days after you've applied for asylum. At the 180-day mark, the government can actually approve it and issue it to you. And they usually do it pretty quickly within a few weeks of that time. Usually you get your work permit in the mail somewhere between 7 and 8 months after applying for asylum, assuming that you applied for the work permit at the earliest date available, possible, at 150 or 151 days. Okay. So good luck with that. It should work out for you. All right. Bloomstring says, what if I applied, got my work permit, but I haven't met a judge yet or even had an appointment? Am I safe? Probably. Based on what we're hearing from Trump's people, you're probably safe right now because you have an asylum application pending. So for those of you who fear being harmed in your country, if you haven't yet applied for asylum, you should talk with an asylum lawyer. Okay. what do I think about Colombia right now? Mauro. I think that Trump steamrolled them, which doesn't make me happy to say. It gives me no pleasure to say that he steamrolled them, but it looks like he did. We have a lot of clients from Colombia. They're hard to win. They're hard, especially when it has to do with like FARC and other guerrilla groups. They're hard cases to win, but we have had success with them. We know those cases really well. We have staff in Colombia and from Colombia that are in the U.S. both. So we know these cases really well. Mauro, if you're Colombian, you might want to check out, if it's more convenient, more comfortable for you, our Spanish language YouTube channel called Asilo Aprobado. Okay. All right. Melvis says, what can cause a delay for USCIS to give a response to an asylum application that's been filed for more than 2 months? Good question. The question is this: what's going on if it takes USCIS a long time to give you your asylum receipt notice? So you apply for asylum and let's say you wait for months and you haven't heard anything. You haven't gotten that letter that says, hey, we received your application, we accepted it, and it's pending as of X date. If you haven't gotten that, what we call a receipt notice yet, what's up with that? Why? Well, look, I'm guessing you applied by mail, like with actual physical paper that you mailed in. The way that it works is that's slow. Those have routinely for the last, year and a half maybe, been taking a very long time for USCIS to actually process. Well over 6 months, probably on average. So it might be several more months till you get that. Look, for those of you who are considering applying but have not yet applied with USCIS, I strongly recommend that you apply online through a My USCIS account, which you can quickly, freely, and easily create, because then you get the receipt notice immediately, or at least the next business day. It's just a better process overall. Apply online with USCIS, not by mail. Okay, but look, you'll eventually get your receipt notice from USCIS. But this raises an important question. The question is this: so let's say that you apply for asylum with USCIS by mail, right? And it takes them a long time to get you your asylum receipt notice. Let's say it takes 7 months. Well, we know that normally you should be able to apply for your work permit at about 5 months after applying, right? So let's say you apply, you reach 5 months waiting, and you haven't gotten your receipt notice back from USCIS. Can you apply for your work permit? No. Well, you can apply, but they're going to deny it. Why? Because your data is not in the system yet, because your case hasn't been input they haven't picked it up from the mailroom and put your data into the system yet. So the people that do the work permits will say, no, you don't have a case pending because your case is still sitting in the mailroom. Once you get your work permit, though, let's say it's 7 months, can you immediately apply then for a work permit, or do you have to wait from that time till 150 days? The good news is you can apply immediately because they'll backdate it. They'll see what the date was that was stamped on it when it came to the mailroom, and they use that as your 150-day clock. So you can apply immediately as long as 150 days have passed since you actually mailed it, or since they received it in the mail. Okay? So that's good news, at least. Camel says, do I think Trump will change the law that says you can get married to a U.S. citizen if you come here legally? No. Trump can't change the law, but they can try to sort of interpret it in a different way and not implement it correctly. But no, I don't think they'll even try and do that for people that came legally and are getting married to a U.S. citizen. No, I wouldn't worry about that if I were you, if that's what you're asking. All right. Besatza, is it helpful to get a support letter from friends who are already granted refuge on the same merits? Interesting question. So the question is this: will it help your asylum case to submit witness letters from people that you know that faced similar circumstances to you and won their asylum case that was similar to yours? Yeah, look, as long as they have firsthand knowledge about something that helps inform the officer, helps show the officer that you have been harmed or at risk and why you're at risk, then yeah, it's going to be helpful. And if it's completely, look, at the end of the day, it depends on how closely tied their circumstances are to yours. So, I can't give you a blanket answer like, yes, it's always good, or no, you should never do it. It's one of those things that we need to analyze in my office on a case-by-case basis, in which we do exactly that with our clients in a very thorough, systematic way to decide exactly what evidence is going to be most helpful. But I guess the bottom line is it sounds like there's a good chance that yes, we would say yes, but we'd have to look and analyze it. Okay. Because sometimes evidence can actually be, if you don't do a good job with evidence and you submit things that you shouldn't have, it can be counterproductive. It can hurt your case. You can get denied because of what appear to be inconsistencies or other problems. Okay. Wow. Felipe says, good morning from San Francisco, waiting for 8 years for my asylum interview. Felipe, we need to talk. You know where to go, Felipe. If you've been on this live for more than 5 minutes, you need to go to winasylum.com, Felipe. Please go to type in WINASYLUM.com. Don't type WW, just type WINASYLUM.com and schedule an appointment now, Felipe. Please, we should talk. You are in a very good position, very strong position to have success with an asylum delay lawsuit, so-called mandamus lawsuit. Okay, we've been doing this a ton lately, including in San Francisco. It is a powerful tool. Our clients love it because it works. All right. Mayra Leal says, what's current for applications out of Tampa, Florida, waiting for the interview? What do you mean? Like, how long does it take? Mayra, it depends on when you applied. Myra, when did you apply? And then I'll let you know what I think about your chances for getting an interview soon. Okay. Beautiful Bird says, even if you have a pending asylum case in court, they're going to deport you if you have less than 2 years here, even without any hearing. No, I don't think so. I don't think so, Beautiful Birds. That's not what the administration is saying. Look, can you trust them? We'll see. But that's not what they're saying right now, that they're going to do that. So I remain, Beautiful Birds. Look, I could be proved wrong on this, but I remain confident that the best way to protect yourself right now is to have an asylum application pending. And you should talk with a lawyer if you haven't applied yet and you fear being harmed in your country. All right. All right. Now I'm to where everyone's telling me the website is working on my comments. Thank you. Thank you for checking, everyone. Yvette says, if someone's out of status, how can they go about getting their status without marriage? Good question. The question is this. What are your options to get legal status in the United States other than through marriage? Look, your options are limited. There's not that many ways to get status in the United States. If you have, especially if you're out of status, look, for people that are in status or that are trying to come from abroad, sometimes being sponsored by an employer is a way that can work. Coming as a student or getting student status is something that you can sometimes get. But when you're out of status, it makes these things much more difficult, if not impossible. Sometimes people that are like a victim of a crime or have been abused or trafficked can sometimes get status, even though they're out of status. But look, if you fear being harmed in your country and you haven't yet applied for asylum, you should talk to an asylum lawyer about that, about whether that could be a route to asylum, because it can, to status, because you can win asylum even though you apply after you're already out of status. You should try to apply during your first year. You should apply during your first year because there's a rule that says you have to, but there are some exceptions to that. So if you fear being harmed and you haven't yet applied for asylum, talk to an asylum lawyer now, okay? Kevin says, Brian, breaking the internet. My broken website. I think it was because she put www in front of it. That's funny. Funny comment, though. Muhammad says, I'll schedule and call today. Nice. Better than calling, look, is just going to winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com. Yeah, that's where, Muhammad, that's the best way to schedule with us, okay? Oh, interesting question. Ian Realm says, do they schedule interviews based on how many people apply from a certain country? The question is this. What is USCIS taking into account and factoring in when they decide how to schedule asylum interviews? at USCIS at the asylum office. Like, for example, do they only schedule a certain amount during a certain time based on country? Like, does your country that you're from affect when you get your interview scheduled, or are there other things taken into account? The answer is no, that doesn't matter at all. They don't account for that at all. It's the process right now is what they call last in, first out. When they get an application, they immediately look to the calendar and say, can we fit this into a slot in the next few months here? And if there's availability, like asylum officers have spots on their calendar, they assign it then. And most people who have applied recently in the last few months have gotten their interview very quickly, within 1 to 3 months. And I do expect that to keep happening at least for a while. So you got to be prepared to schedule, to present the strongest case possible quickly. Okay. All right. Myra says, what's considered unreasonable? Are you talking about for a lawsuit, Myra? Good question. The question is, I assume that's what you're talking about, Myra. The question is this: what's considered unreasonable for purposes of suing the government in an asylum delay lawsuit? So here's how it works. Remember, the government has a duty to act in a reasonable time on your application to process your case, give you an interview and give you a decision in a reasonable time. When it's an unreasonable delay, you can sue and the judge will tell them, look, you got to do your job, give them the interview, give them the decision. So what's reasonable, what's unreasonable? There's no like sort of hard point at which it becomes reasonable or unreasonable, and different judges have different opinions on this. In my office, we've been having success most places, most asylum offices, where the person's been waiting 3 years for their interview. There are, however, in Los Angeles asylum office, we've changed to where now we're waiting 5 years. We may wait for 5 years at a couple other offices. It depends on how things go in the coming weeks. But beyond 5 years for everywhere, yeah, I think you're in good position to have success with an asylum delay lawsuit. 3 in some other places. Okay, so we should talk, Myra. If you want to talk. If you've been waiting for Myra, you said Tampa. We've had success in Tampa and Miami at 3 years every single time. We haven't lost a case yet. The government has not fought back yet in Florida on our mandamus lawsuits, and we've had multiple ones where the person's been waiting fewer than 5 years, but at least 3 years. So we should talk if you've been waiting at least 3 years. Okay. Yeah. Look. Mercy, Favor, Kindness says, just 2 weeks after applying, I got an interview and was told I'll get a decision in 2 weeks. So Myra, Mercy, Favor, Kindness got that. Yeah, like as I said, right now, most people are getting their interviews really, really quickly after applying, okay? It's complicated the way that the scheduling works, and because it's weird because people are thinking, look, I know lots of people who apply for asylum who've been waiting like 5 years for their interview, who've been waiting like 8 years for their interview, and they haven't got it. So why would I get my interview right now if I applied now? It's because of the scheduling priorities that USCIS has, coupled with the fact that there's fewer people coming to the southern border. At the end of the day, that's the reason that right now a lot of people are getting the interview right away, is because there's fewer people coming to the southern border because of various reasons, mainly Biden administration policies to try to keep people from coming, and Mexico's greater enforcement to keep people from getting up to the border. That has led to fewer people at the southern border seeking asylum, which means asylum officers have more time to do asylum interviews instead of having to do credible fear interviews. They have to prioritize doing credible fear interviews by telephone usually with people that come to the border. When there's few people at the border, fewer credible fear interviews, more time to do asylum interviews, meaning they're able to get to the people as they come. Okay. Myra says, if you've been waiting for 1 year, nope, not 1 year. I don't think you're gonna have success at 1 year, unfortunately. I'd say wait till you get to 3 years, unfortunately. Marcus says, I agree with him. Agree with whom? About what? I lost you. Okay. Phyllis Andrews says, have you worked with a lot of Haitian clients? Yeah, we have quite a few Haitians. We've had success in quite a few Haitian cases. I think we have quite a few Haitian clients, especially in Miami. Fair amount in Houston, but a lot in Florida, especially Miami. Yep, I'm thinking of one gentleman in particular who whose case was an absolute pleasure to handle. The nicest, sweetest man who went through some really bad things in his country. And we sued. We did the asylum delay lawsuit, the mandamus lawsuit, and it worked. And he got his interview, and we worked really hard to prepare the case well on paper, and we worked really hard to prepare him for it, and we represented him during it, and it worked. And he won his asylum case. So yeah, we know these cases. We've had success with them. We should talk. I love helping people from Haiti. Okay. Okay. Annie says, so what do you do if you get stopped by ICE and you're in the process of asylum and you have your EAD and social security number? Like, do you show your EAD? Like, what should you carry? Annie, I think you should carry your EAD, and I think you should carry a copy of your asylum receipt notice. That's for everyone. I think everyone should carry, if you've applied for asylum, you should carry, if you have your work permit, carry that, and carry a copy of your asylum receipt notice that says, we got your application, it's pending as of X date. And it also has a sentence that says, you have permission to remain in the country while your case is pending. I would keep that with you at all times. Okay. Good question. Peaceful Man. This is a really interesting question. It says on YouTube, my asylum case was dismissed at immigration court after 4 years, and I just filed with USCIS, so total 5 years since my initial filing. Am I eligible to file for mandamus lawsuit? So hold on, let me type this: consultations when asylum. If you want to talk with us about securing your future in America through asylum, guys, go to winasylum.com. I'm putting that in the chat right now that you can click on. It should be clickable, and schedule a consultation now. Okay. So let's go back to this question. You said, Peaceful Man said, okay, like basically you said, yeah, you said, oh, there we are. Oh, gotcha. So the question is, this. Let's say your asylum case was dismissed from immigration court. Then you go back and you apply with USCIS. You're wondering, can I sue USCIS in a mandamus lawsuit to get my interview scheduled quickly if I originally applied for asylum with the immigration court a long time ago, let's say 5 years ago or something like that? The question is, if you sue, what date is the judge going to look to as like your asylum application date for purposes of deciding whether the delay is unreasonable? Are they going to say it's the date like recently when you applied with USCIS, or are they going to say, oh, no, we're looking at that date way back when you applied with the immigration court? The answer is, I don't know. This is a new thing where all these cases are getting dismissed and people are applying with USCIS. So this is unknown territory, uncharted territory. I think there's a good argument to be made that they should use the old date and that therefore you could win your mandamus lawsuit. I think there's a good argument to be made, and I want to make that argument. I want to talk with you. I want to do this for you. Go to winasylum.com and schedule a consultation, please. Okay. Peaceful Man, let's talk. Felipe, we already addressed Felipe. Peter says, what's the best state to claim asylum? Good question. The question is this: what's the best state in America to be an asylum seeker? In other words, where do you have the highest chance for success? Look, California. That's actually an easy answer. There is some variation in some places depending on whether your case is with USCIS or instead in immigration court. Because like in New York, there's actually a stark difference. In New York, the asylum office of USCIS has a very low approval rate, very low. But the immigration court has a very high approval rate. So your chances depend on whether you're with USCIS or the immigration court. California, though, there's two asylum offices, well, kind of three, but normally two asylum offices there. Los Angeles and San Francisco, and they consistently have among the higher approval rates. And there's several immigration courts in California, and they tend to have high approval rates too. So just overall, best chance for success as an asylum seeker without looking at particular circumstances is going to be, California. Mercy Favor Kindness says, I have scheduled. Oh, thank you. Good. I'm glad you made that appointment with us, Mercy Favor Kindness. I look forward to talking with you. Honestly, it'll probably be one of my colleagues. It probably won't be me. I look forward to my colleagues talking with you, one of our asylum professionals who are going to do a great job with you, okay? They're awesome. You're going to love them. You're going to really like talking to them, okay? Ankan Saha says, how long to get an interview? I filed for asylum last month with the asylum office in Los Angeles. Get ready. Ankan, get ready. It could be very soon. It could be in the next couple months. Pretty good chance of that, actually. So if you don't have an asylum lawyer, we should talk today, or you should schedule an appointment today. We don't have any spots left today, but yeah. Gotcha says, is it possible to do an asylum interview while waiting on an AOS result? Yes, absolutely. The two things are sort of on their own tracks. One doesn't affect the other while they're in process. So yeah, it's definitely possible. Wimalasena Herath says, my asylum case was dismissed by EOIR. Am I at risk of deportation? Good question. The question is this. Are you at risk of being deported by Trump's deportation machine after your asylum case gets dismissed from immigration court? Well, look, yeah, maybe, because once your case is dismissed, if you don't have any other kind of status, then you're out of status. And yeah, you're at risk of being deported if you have contact with the authorities. They could even come for you. They could even come to your house. Here's the thing, though. After your asylum case is dismissed from immigration court, you can apply again with USCIS. If you've done that, then I believe that you are protecting yourself. You're making it much, 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 much less likely that you're going to be deported or that you're going to be detained or placed immediately back into deportation process in court, okay? Because that's what the Trump administration has said, that they're going to respect the asylum process. So if you've applied again with USCIS, you'll probably be okay, and you'll get to present your case, okay? Nice. All right. Kyrie says, we applied 3 years after getting here. We just applied for political reasons. We're from Honduras. What are the chances for success? Look, Kyrie, tengo un canal de YouTube en español y Asilo Aprobado se llama. It's going to be tough, right? Because of the 1 year filing deadline. If you don't have an asylum lawyer, Kyrie, and you've got this complication in your case of having filed 3 years after you got here, you should talk with an asylum lawyer about how to make the strongest arguments possible with respect to the 1 year filing deadline and your case generally. But your case is especially hard to win because of that 1 year filing deadline. Probably, it sounds like it based on what you've told me. Okay. Ian says, I was going to hire your firm, but I got my interview. He was going to hire us to do mandamus, but he got his interview. Well, Ian, why don't you hire us to help you win your case? Right? We do more than just mandamus lawsuits. We can help you substantively to improve your case, to prepare you, to give you the strongest, best chance to secure your future in America through asylum. Ian, if you want us to send you the contract for that, let us know. Because we love helping people not just get their interview, but actually win their case. All right, guys, that's it for today. I'm Brian Manning. I'm an asylum lawyer. My law firm is called Political Asylum Lawyers, and you can find us and schedule a consultation at winasylum.com. That's winasylum.com. That's where you can schedule a consultation with us. Go do that today. Go do that like right now. All right. We want to talk with you. We want to see what's going on. Hear about your situation, tell you whether we think we're in a position to support you, okay? Thank you. As always, it is a pleasure and an honor, and I mean that, to support you in your asylum journey, all right?